let's talk about the application that I built because I'm super excited about this. I have habituated to tinnitus to such an extent that I never hear it. I'm in silence. I'm in peace. And I never thought it was even possible when I was in severe bothersome tinnitus. For those of you that don't know my story, I literally went to a mental hospital. I didn't get admitted or anything like that, but I did do an evaluation. It is because I was going on 3 or 4 days of insomnia, and I was just feeling out of my mind. Because the bothersome tinnitus, it threw me into anxiety that was so bad, it basically just shot my nervous system. Like, I just couldn't turn my brain off. It's like something in my brain had snapped, and it was like, I just couldn't fall asleep. Like, every time I would try and go to sleep, it was like something would just wake me back up. And then when I woke up, I was in the ringing and the hell. And so it was probably one of the lowest places I've been into in my entire life, because I couldn't sleep, so I couldn't escape it through sleep. And when I was awake, I was just stuck in anxiety. So I was literally, for those 4 days, was just in constant hell. Horrible. I don't recommend it. Almost drove me crazy. Anyway, when I was in the mental hospital, like just in the evaluation, like in the room part, I realized that I wasn't going to find my healing that route. The way I realized that was because I was looking outside and I saw the grass and the sky, and I was just like, I just want to be out there. Like, if I could just go sit in nature and just sit there and find peace, I know that I could recover. And while I was sitting in the mental hospital, just feeling completely out of my mind, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what's going to happen. I looked outside and I saw that. I'm going to tie this into like how this really kind of was the inspiration for the application. Also, reading all the comments really helped inspire me to build it, and just talking with clients and stuff. But anyway, when I left, I immediately felt better, because I was like, okay, I get to go home and I can just kind of sit in my yard. And it was summertime. I could sit in the yard and I could just close my eyes and be. And I did that. And I was just so happy to not be in the hospital. And I just went out there and I was just like, I felt a sliver of peace, like a sliver of hope. So anyway, I ended up going on this journey of habituation and developing this protocol. And this protocol is a strict regimen of waking up, never checking for tinnitus, never allowing yourself any time to ruminate, having daily meditative practices, bite-sized meditation that you can do, so 5-minute sessions, but multiple times a day, instead of big 30 minute to 1 hour sessions. It's thought reframing, so every time you get a negative thought, reframe the thought so you break the tinnitus loop. You want to really collapse a lot of these negative thought loops in your head that lead you to being aware of tinnitus all the time. So it's reading your recovery statement, it's journaling, it's a bunch of different things that it's a morning protocol, a spike protocol, different things like that I implemented to really give me the best chance of habituation. Because I read the literature on it and I knew it wasn't a guarantee. But I was like, if I can do the right things or not do the wrong things, then I can give myself the best chance at habituating, and I can get my life back, and I can go travel and do everything that I'm doing now. And I knew there wasn't a guarantee. But what I realized is that part of that trick was that part of my brain that's like, this isn't guaranteed, really reframing that thought and being like, well, nothing's guaranteed, but this is what we have, and we're probably going to surprise ourselves with how well we can overcome this. So I even reframed that thought. I reframed every single thought that was trying to get in the way from me to habituating, basically. And so I built this protocol, and I basically built it with pen and paper. Like I had like paper, I had journals. I would sit down and reframe the thought manually. I wrote my own recovery statement manually. I did everything manually, and I would literally have like paperwork that I would like when I was figuring this protocol out. And I did it very consistently for long periods of time. And wouldn't you know, I habituated and overcame my fear of leaving and traveling and getting on planes and all that stuff. And here I am traveling the world, and I live in Asia now. And I get to work on applications and be a developer and make videos and help people. And I'm really living my dream. I say all of that because when I was beginning to coach people, What I realized in the tinnitus space was that there is no real affordable blueprint to habituation. Many people that have worked with me, they ask me, what should I do? And I tell them every single thing that I've explained to you in this video. I tell them that. And then what I realize is that I don't know if they're going to do everything, because a lot of people will do one session, leave. Some people will come back for multiple sessions. I'll be like, did you do all your homework? Did you do everything? Well, life's kind of busy, and I understand. Everyone's busy. It's 2025 and we are all run ragged. I get that. So this is no shame. I say all that because when I was developing this application, I was like, how can I hold people accountable? Like, how can I make sure that people do these little steps, these micro steps every single day and hold them accountable? Because if I could do that, if I could hold them accountable, get them to do the 30 minutes worth of work every day, in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, their suffering would be significantly decreased. Significantly. Would they all habituate to the level that I'm at? I can't guarantee that. Nobody can guarantee that. But if I could build a way to take everything that I know with habituation and recovering from tinnitus, and I could put it into something where it was affordable, people could use it, they could just type on the meditations, they could just reframe their thoughts on the fly, they could just print up a recovery statement by the pressing of buttons, and as they're going through their day, if a spike happens, they can just pull up a meditation and ground themselves. If they notice a thought spiral, they can just reframe it, read it to themselves. They can journal right on the fly. They can reach out, for guidance. If I could develop that, then that would give people the best shot at habituating. Because habituation is scientific. It's scientifically proven that we habituate things, right? We don't think about wearing our clothes. If you live next to a loud train, you're probably going to habituate that out, and that's a really loud, obnoxious sound. The science behind it was, if I could keep people accountable, and it could be something that is easy for them to use and for them to understand, and they could do it, then they would have the best shot, the best percentage of habituation. It's not a course, because this is why I don't believe in courses. The information is good, but getting people to complete them is really bad. Like 80% of people just don't complete courses. So if I make a course and charge $1,000 for it, $500 for it, or whatever, $200, I know that 80% of people aren't going to finish it. That just doesn't sit well with me. On the other hand, if I put all of the information into an application and I charge $30 a month for it, and I know that it's much easier to use, and it literally is clicks of buttons. If you click on it, it literally tells people what to do and how to do it throughout your day. Then I know that the percentage of them doing it is much higher. Do you get what I'm saying? So that was really the reason behind it, because a course is information, but information isn't transformation. In order to have transformation, you have to have action. Where you can learn about going to the gym, you can learn about getting ripped, you can learn about dieting and working out. But if you don't go to the gym, you are not going to have the transformation. It's the same with tinnitus and habituation. You can learn about habituation, you can watch 1,000 courses, you can watch every single video that's ever been posted. But unless you're meditating and journaling and cognitively reframing your thoughts and reading your recovery statements every single day and noticing your thoughts when they spiral and reframing them, and when you spike, grounding yourself in a spike, unless you do that, you're not going to have the same transformation as somebody who does. It's just how the world works. If you want the result, you have to put in the work. So how do you break the work down to where it's manageable for people? That was the really tough question when I was developing this application. And what I started to do, I started to say, well, what do people really want? So I started reading comments. I started really paying attention to what my clients said. One of my clients was like, that's too expensive. And I was thinking about it, I was like, maybe he's right. Maybe there needs to be something more affordable. I didn't get triggered, but I allowed the feedback to be the fuel, the constructive feedback to be the fuel to develop this. And I was thinking, they need something affordable, they need something simple, they need something intuitive, they need accountability, because accountability is the one thing that is going to keep you coming back and doing the steps over and over and over again. So when I figured all that out, I was like, okay, now I have a blueprint. I know how to get people to habituate. I know what they need to do. How do I put it into a thing? And so I'm a developer by trade, and I sat down. I was so inspired. I was working like 6, 7, 8 hours a day just coding this thing, and after many bugs and trials and errors and failed attempts and soft quits, it's finally online. And it's everything I've done to habituate, every single thing. I left nothing out, left no guesswork. I'm even adding more features. This is version 1, so I'm adding more features. And as the app becomes more successful, I'm going to hire talent here in the Philippines. I'm going to hire a developer. I'm going to hire a personal assistant, a social media manager, and I'm going to hire people because I believe, because tinnitus, the only cure to tinnitus is habituation right now. That's it. Habituation is not mainstream. ENTs don't push it because they get paid way too much to push private consulting and $10,000 courses and $10,000 ear generators and supplements and just crap that just does not work. Like, ear generators work in a sense that, like, you'll end up wearing them all the time and they're very expensive. But there needs to be a product that is habituation. It's not guaranteeing you some miracle pill, but it's just with you on the habituation journey. Helping you achieve the only cure for tinnitus is habituation. It's backed by countless case studies, testimonials, myself included. And I thought, if I were going to develop anything in the tinnitus space, it's not a course, it's not some high ticket this or that, it's not trying to resell ear generators or being an affiliate for some ENT or this or that. It's developing a true, unique solution that's close to my heart, that comes from the pain itself. And that's where this app comes from. I'm not a doctor. I'm a developer. I'm a developer who suffered with tinnitus. And that's why I believe this makes this uniquely different. Because I'm not coming from it from a SaaS founder that's trying to make money. I'm coming from it from a developer who just so happened to suffer with tinnitus, and I understand the psychological, the spiritual, and the mental component in the tinnitus suffering itself. It's hard to find a developer that has that sort of empathy. There's a lot of talented developers that have the technical aspect of it, but they can't even empathize with someone who's suffering from bothersome tinnitus and the thoughts and just how horrible it can be. How painful it can be, how scary it can be, how doomed it can be, feels like, at least. Anyway, that's where this comes from. That's where this idea comes from the pit of my heart, to help alleviate the suffering of people at a affordable cost. So anyway, if you want to check it out, there's a 7-day free trial. You can cancel by the clicks of 2 buttons. I'm telling you how to cancel right now. 7-day free trial. You cancel by going into settings, and you hit manage your subscription, and then you hit the cancel button. You don't have to call me to get on the phone to cancel. There's no this or that. It's sign up if you want to. When you want to leave at any time. And if you want to come back at any time. Okay? There's a tech support email. Email me, reach out to me directly. I am tech support, so I will be running the emails until I can grow a team. But, leave a review. I would appreciate a positive review. Any review. What are the features that you want to add? Because this helps develop it. And if we can get this treatment of habituation to more people, then we can alleviate the suffering of so many people whose lives have been ruined by bothersome tinnitus. And that's a passion for me. So anyway, if this video helps, make sure to share it with a bunch of people. Comment below. I love reading the comments. And smash the subscribe button. It really helps the algorithm, and it does help grow the channel. I'll talk to you later. Peace.